What's going on, CALIVEGANs, and welcome into another episode of the CALIVEGAN podcast. Today we're going to go through some of the common struggle that my community, vegan man on my Instagram has when it comes to build muscle as a vegan with calisthenics. I got some notes. I went through some of the conversation and just get out some of the most common themes. But first, put my clock on for resting times. Today it's going to be a push workout, completely different than I usually do. The first change that I'm going to make is my planche work. My planche work is not going to be anymore focused on push-ups, planche push-ups, because I've noticed that I might not developing that straight arm strength that I need to perform planche. So I want to focus on that a little more. And as the last exercise, we're going to go for that strength endurance that I need for competing in calisthenics. And I think today I'm just going to keep it to push-ups and see what I can do in terms of volume there. Let's do our first set. Sorry if it's going to look very ugly, but first time we do this. Hopefully I can do 3 sets of 3 repetitions of the planche press. Alright, so far everything in order. Wow, this is very hard, guys. How can people do it with the standard legs? So I don't know. I don't want to use a harder band. Or maybe I can try with a harder band. I also want to talk about something that came up a couple of times. People telling me on Instagram that I'm an imposter because I do a follow and unfollow method. So first of all, I'm going to come up clear on that and telling you that I am doing it. I am doing following and unfollowing people. All right. But it's not because I'm trying to trick people into thinking that I want to follow them and they're not. It's simply because you need to understand that if you have a business, you need leads and you need to get to the right people that are going to buy your stuff. And I'm a coach, I'm a vegan coach specializing in vegan men. It's being very difficult for me to get my content organically to the right people. You might think you're shit at making content. Yes, I'm definitely not the best at making content. I admit that. So, but still, it's not something that's kind of unethical to do to follow people. I also think that the people that think and get upset that maybe I then unfollow them is not the right people, because the main reason you go to other people's account and interact and perhaps you give them a follow is just to get them, just to get their attention, right? So if you find my content valuable and you follow me, that's fine. If then you want to unfollow me because I unfollowed you, then probably you weren't the right person for me. You didn't like my content, because we don't need to follow each other. You know, this concept of necessarily supporting each other, I think is wrong. It's like just a weak way of creating a community and creating a following, because at the end of the day you want to have a community of people that follow you because they like your stuff, they're learning from you, and that they don't just follow you because you follow them. That doesn't make any sense. However, I can understand why some people get upset, but again, if I wouldn't do it, if my content would be freaking super viral all the time, right, I would not be doing that. But since, well, actually my content is going viral sometimes, but the problem is not only going viral, the problem is going in front of the right people, and that's a very difficult game in the social media world these days. Alright, so we're trying it again with the harder band. Let's see how it goes. If this doesn't go well, I am going to feel very weak, and we're going to have to just, you know, just do the hold, planche hold, and that's it. I don't know. Let me know how that looked. But I guess we do that. We try to build strength with that, because as I told many times, I think in this podcast, I do not like to do holds. I prefer to use assistance and do an easier variation, but have movement inside of the repetition. That develops better strength, better overall strength, then transfers in different things. Alright, I want to talk about a cheat day, because I saw a post from another coach today that he was telling people that if they want to get ripped and then they have a cheat day or cheat meal, they don't really want to get ripped. And himself, he would never cheat on himself and on his fitness goals. You know, this is this kind of extremist idea and message, and I think there is nothing wrong. All right, I also think there is nothing wrong about being super strict, right? Don't get me wrong. If you find that the benefits are greater than the sacrifice and the effort, by all means, sacrifice and be super strict with whatever you're doing in life. But is it necessary? It is not necessary. I have been practicing a cheat day since I started fitness, right? I love this concept of being disciplined during the week, and then on the weekend, especially one day per week, being free of eating more and drinking more. And I've been able to maintain a lean physique. So you can do it. You can absolutely do it. Also, it's very difficult to really overdo your calories in only one day. You can if you binge eat and you don't have idea what you're eating, if you do a lot of bad choices during your cheat days. Basically, if you do bad choices and you binge, then of course you could overdo your calories. You can start adding a half kilogram of fat per week, right? You will stop losing fat if your goal is losing fat. But that's not what you want to do. You don't want to binge and do unhealthy choices for your whole day in your cheat day. What you want to do is making sure that your calorie count over the week matches your goal of maintaining or losing fat. If you're losing fat, you need to be on a calorie deficit. So you make sure that your overall calories during the week matches that, and you play with the numbers. And what I usually do is if I want to lose fat, I create a 600 calorie deficit, and I kind of take 200 out of the daily deficit 6 times per week, and then I add it to one day. And this day, let's say I have I'm eating 1,800 calories for my deficit. My maintenance is 2,400. Okay, I add 200 per 6. That's 1,200 calories. I add it to my maintenance, and that's going to be 3,600 calories for my cheat day. Now, I just wanted to add another thing, that 3,600 calories, for me, it might not be a lot, but because I tend to binge, I always want to eat during the day. So I always need to be mindful on what I'm putting into my mouth, and that's also why I really enjoy a cheat day, because I feel like I need to express my binge attitude, my binge eating, whatever, it's not an unhealthy way of doing it, but I do tend to eat all the time. So but what I found, especially I think in the vegan world, that most vegans, they start being healthier. They start being healthier overall. And actually most of my clients, first of all, some of them don't want a cheat day. They don't need it, because most of them don't even drink. But the one they do want it, and perhaps they don't drink alcohol, for them 3,600 calories is actually a lot. It's actually a lot, because you don't have to binge eat only on unhealthy food, and you don't have to binge again. Like, it's just about eating a little bit more during your cheat day, but you cannot really overdo bananas and fruit, and if you have a pasta with vegetables and soy products. So you see, if you keep your cheat day overall healthy, you have the space to have more freedom of, trying new recipes, eating a little bit more during the day, snacking a little bit more, and you will be absolutely fine. Alright, so I rested a lot. I would really like to see my video doing this, but I can't do it. Whoa! Oh. I was thinking that maybe I could have done 4, but no way. It's a very hard exercise. We done 3. So let's stay in the eating. You eat too many carbs, or you think that carbs are the demon and are not going to make you lose fat. Let me show you stuff. Instant noodles. What else we got? There's more noodles. Breadsticks. Cereals. Chocolate cereals. Of course, our friend pasta. It's not about carbs. Eating carbs is not a problem. Actually, if you're training, you're pretty active, if you don't eat carbs, like starchy carbs like these ones, you're going to have probably some difficulties to eat enough calories. However, if you think starchy carbs are preventing you to having a lean physique, they are not. It's just the way you eat them. And to solve this problem, all you have to do is portioning. Get a food scale and become friend with the food scale. Because you can have your rice, your pasta, your bread, even for each of your meals, as long as you are controlling the portioning and you stay within your caloric target. So again, do not fear carbs, just make sure they fit your calories. What do we have next? This is a common one, and I think I talked about it in the past, which is people that struggle to be disciplined, right? But what I found that the reason why most people are struggling to be disciplined do not have a plan. So you probably heard a lot this concept of discipline is number one. But if you don't have a plan to be disciplined, towards, you cannot develop discipline. That's one thing. And I have another thing about discipline. Wow, this shit is hard, let me tell you. I feel so weak that I have to do it with this hard band, But yeah, everything step by step. Should we hold? Wow. Alright. Let's give shoulder a rest. We're going to add one set, just a planche hold. See how that goes. Finding your way. In calisthenics, that's why it's also very important in calisthenics to, also in normal training with weights it's important, but in calisthenics more, is to keep it simple. You have all of these different calisthenics exercises that you want to try, but that's the mistake many people do. They go to a calisthenic park and they see different variation of pull-ups and they start trying them. But if you're not intentional about what you're doing, you're probably just going to fall on doing things that are not for your strength level. So what I'm doing right now, I'm being intentional in trying things. I'm looking for my starting point here. So once I'm there, I'm going to keep it simple, man. I am going to keep it simple. I'm not going to, like today I do tack planche races. Next week I'm doing, tack planche races and then negative in full. I'm not going to do tack to planche, extending my legs, or starting from the floor and then lifting to planche. I'm not changing all the time. I'm also not making a progression that goes from, I don't know, tuck raises with a band, and then okay, I can do enough repetitions, and then I go into holding planche, for example. No, I stick to the same exercise for a long period of time, and I make progression with it. So if I'm doing tuck planche raises, I will only scale the band, and I will focus on that until I can see I need a different variation in order to keep making progress. Because otherwise you just get stuck with your progress, and you don't really know where you're going with calisthenics. This is what helped me the most. Finding my exercise, which I can do with the best form possible, and then working my way up in strength from there. So I didn't even do 3 repetitions in the last set, did I? It was more like 2. So that was about 8 seconds. So I think at this point it makes more sense to just work on the hold, because the press does seem a little bit too difficult for me. Handstand push-ups next. I am not there. So can't be disciplined. So yeah, to be disciplined, you need a plan, right? And I know many people just do things at home. They do some push-ups, some pull-ups, they do some circuits. They feel the burn, and that's okay. But it would be better to have something that's more clear, a plan that makes more sense. Especially something that gives you progression over time, because if you do have a clear progression over time, it helps you be disciplined, because if you skip the workout, you're going to lose that upward curve of progress. And the other thing, you need to build that discipline somehow. Like, for example, for me, I guess the way I've been building discipline towards my training was that balancing with the bad habits. Sometimes I would drink, I would go party in the wrong days, outside of the weekend, but I had this commitment to my fitness routine, and therefore I would do it anyway, even if I was a bit more tired. I was heavily hungover, perhaps. I would still go to do my workout even if I was feeling bad. And I think this this pain that you have helps you develop discipline, right? Because it's kind of a punishment that you relate to not prioritizing your training, right? And this is obviously, this is one way. The other way is just is also just telling to yourself that you're not doing good to yourself if you're not training. Because so many people, instead of doing this, they create excuses in their head. Oh, it was a busy day, I am tired, like my girlfriend broke up with me, this happened and that happened, and you lose focus on the fact that training and this whole fitness routine that you need to commit to, it does make your life always better. And when you skip it, it makes it worse. So that's what you need to make clear inside of your brain. Let's see how it goes today. What was that? 5? Didn't feel too bad. I do have the feeling though that the fact that I'm using now like the wardrobe to help me with the balance, it's making me feeling safer, and therefore I tend to go into it. Just a thought. Oh, we did 6,665 a few weeks ago. Now we've done 5. I think I can do better. I would like to gain weight. Does calisthenics work? Can I gain muscle using my own body weight? You absolutely can. Only thing that you need to be careful on is that you don't want to go from the gym where you are used to slowly week after week adding some weight to increase the intensity, and then transfer into calisthenics at home and all you do is just push-ups and pull-ups. Okay, those are great exercises that can help you build strength and muscle, but to actually gain a significant amount of muscles and strength using calisthenics, you need to use the same concept that you would use in the gym, like increasing weight, and the same thing goes with calisthenics. So you want to go and increase the difficulty of the exercises, right? As you can see, I'm doing handstand push-ups. I'm not doing push-ups. Okay, so you want to build your way up to be able to perform these more advanced exercises. And there are many ways you can do it. You can keep it simple and just add weight to your pull-ups and push-ups, for example. Or you can build your way up to different progression of exercises like planche, handstand push-ups, front lever, muscle up, and and so on. So if you have that approach to calisthenics, of course you're going to be able to build muscle and strength from home, just like me. So maybe we can get a little bit further from this safe wardrobe. Fuck. It was 5 again. Struggled 5. But at least I didn't use the wardrobe. And obviously some people have problem with time. You maybe have a daughter, a family, especially a daughter. This guy told me, I have 2 daughters and I don't have time to work out. You know, my question to you is that what you want from your daughters in the future? That they put on the side their own health and fitness goals and really becoming the best version of themselves because of something else, whatever it is. Because if that's what you're doing right now in front of them, even if it's for them, this is what you're teaching them, to put their fitness on the side if they're busy. And I'm not a dad, you know, I don't really know, but what I know is that I have a friend in London who does calisthenics, has got 2 newborn, and he still trains, he's still making progress. He makes sure he fits the workout in 30 minutes 3 times per week, but he stays strong, keeps getting stronger, all right? And he has his kids around him. So this way you're actually giving them a great example. I have seen people running by the beach with a push chair. You can do it. You can do it as well. It's just up to you if you think it's worth it to prioritize your health. But being a dad, it is not an excuse not to work out. It should actually be a motivation to keep going. I also had a client, he's called Damien, that he had a very unorganized workout routine. He wasn't making that much of a progress and he was going to become a dad. And he hired me as a coach because he knew the time was going to be less when he was going to be a father, right? And he wanted to make sure that he had a system to train effectively without wasting time. Oh. We got 5 again, but I have the feeling that these five reps, guys, count like 6. 5. Because I'm kind of struggling a lot with the balance, and this happens often in handstand push-ups, that if the balance is off, you need to make those adjustments while you're doing the push-up, and it makes the repetition two times more difficult. Another comment: I don't want to lose weight, just fat and build muscle. So there is this strong attachment to the weight, and is taking your focus away from what's really important. Why? Because you cannot control your weight. Really. You cannot control the speed at which you build muscle. You cannot control how many muscle you're going to be building over time. So now, if your goal is looking better, and for you looking better is not just looking skinny, but you want to look more muscular. Okay, and that's why you're saying, I don't want to lose weight. But here's the thing: if you have a belly right now, even if it's a small belly, you may have 10 to 15 kilograms of fat to lose. Okay? And I'm sure you want to look defined. You don't want to gain 10 kilograms, right? And still have a belly. On the same way, you don't want to spend a whole year training and following a diet that ends up with you perhaps weighing the same, with a little bit more muscle, but still a belly. So a little bit less of a belly, but still a belly. And you're still not like shredded like me, with a six-pack and muscles. So you need to change your approach to this, okay? And understand that fat loss happens at a quicker rate than muscle growth happens. So forget about the weight, when it comes to build muscle. I have people that are like, oh, I'm 180 centimeters. I would like to weigh 90 kilograms shredded. This is not realistic for everyone. It's actually realistic for a very small percentage of people. So that's it. That's what you want to do. Just focus on getting stronger. And if you want to look more defined, lose weight. Lose the weight. Focus on losing fat. You will be happy at the end of the day that you have lost the belly while you build muscle, even though you perhaps weigh less than you thought you wanted to weigh. And then, if you keep getting stronger over a long period of time, perhaps you're going to achieve that goal of yours of weighing, kind of the same, but with a lot more muscle. But again, to give you a practical example, if to lose 15 kilograms, it might take only 6 months time to lose 15 kilograms of fat. To put on 15 kilograms of muscle, it's going to take 5 years or more for some people. Okay, so do not worry too much about losing weight if you're starting out and you have fat on you. Lose the fat, get stronger, and eventually you gain muscle and weight. 4 sets of 5. So now, here's what we're doing. So I'm doing that. So I'm changing my workout to be more specific for the competition. So for the pull workout, I just kept the chin-ups without the extra weight. For push-ups, so for the push, I'm going to do today push-ups, and what I'll be doing is drop sets. 3 drop sets, weighted to regular, 2 knee push-ups, right? So really doing a lot of volume there. Resting time stays the same. This is 10 kilograms. Let's try to repeat that. Ten, fine, and then the knee push-ups. Hard. All right, it's time. If you are a vegan man who wants to build muscle with calisthenics and you're finding it difficult to get clear on how to organize your nutrition, and you think that the reason why you haven't been able to build muscle is bulking or not getting enough protein, and you're not really making progress within your workout, and you want to just cut short all of these trial and error annoying journey, I can help you with my CALIVEGAN program. I've been helping more than 200 vegan men build muscle with calisthenics, most of them training from home, just like me. And I'll tell you exactly what are the best exercises, for your strength level. Create a progression over time so you can make strength progress and build muscle consistently. I will guide you with a nutrition plan to make sure that you develop a lean physique. So we set a caloric target and organize the diet with a structure so you know in what portion you should be eating different categories of food, as well as implementing some flexibility like food tracking and having a cheat day. And then I will give you access to me at all the time. So you can ask me questions, you can get feedback on your technique, and we'll be doing a weekly check-in where we go through the measurements, making sure that we are getting results and making progress week after week. So if you want help, just go to my Instagram, Stefano Vegan Calisthenics, and we'll have a conversation about your goals and your struggle, and I'll show you how I can help you with my CALIVEGAN program. Stefano Vegan Calisthenics, send me a DM saying CALIVEGAN and we'll talk. Right, time for another one. Oh, this endurance thing is no joke. It's really hard.
¿Necesitas esto?
No. ¿Vas a hacer pull-ups?
No.
Give us a pull-up, come on. Show us the strength of a vegan woman. No? Maybe? No, it's no pull-up happening here. There. Right? 15. Not bad. Oh. Fuck! One more. Push-ups. Show us push-ups. Come some vegan girl motivation.
Aquí.
Nice. See? Very good form. All the way down, all the way up. Especially no rush at the top. Nice. Maybe the hips a little bit higher. Here. Crunch the abs. Yes! Nice. Nina came to also make sure the technique is correct. And I don't know why. I noticed that often girls, they do the things with better technique, just naturally, in the gym, compared to men. I guess it's I guess women have less ego, maybe they're less competitive, so they naturally give more priority to the technique. But it's important for men to put the ego on the side, because especially if you're a beginner, that's going to really stop you from making progress. Like in strength training, you can push your limits until a certain point, but your limit is your limit. Like if you cannot do handstand push-ups, you cannot. That's it. That's the end of the conversation. Just keep trying handstand push-ups in a situation where you're not strong enough to perform them. Just going to be a waste of time. You need to step back and do things that you can focus on. Just like I did in the beginning. I think at the beginning I really demonstrate you this humbling down of, I cannot do this, I need to change. It's useless to push myself hard to do something that I cannot do. Right, last one. We are already at 70 push-ups. And with this, we are building our way up to 105. Seven. Eight. Nine. And then. The hardest knee push-ups in my life. 11. Oh. So this is what I'm going to look for now when I do the endurance work. Really looking for failure, and also focusing on, hitting that repetition goal that I set. It doesn't matter if I have to rest a few seconds before I get back into it, but hitting that number, because this is what I'm gonna have to do during the competition. I need to finish the number of repetitions. Alright, so thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment, subscribe, share it with your best friend. And if you're watching on Instagram, leave a comment, let me know what you want me to talk about in this podcast. And I'll see you in the next one. Go vegan.